Welcome to SecDSM. So tonight we're going to do the 101 like we always do, the introduction. Then James Beal's going to come up here and do the SecDSM news. And then Zelfix, I believe is how it's pronounced, is going to do a secure Linux networking class or discussion from 6:35 to about 7. 7 to 9 is like social time. We want to encourage you to visit our sponsor. We'll get to them in a minute, but they're here and they would love to talk to you. And there's other reasons why you should talk to them, which I'll get to in a minute. But 2 hours of social time, 9 o'clock. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. All right, so this stuff over here, don't touch. Don't touch any of it. Not even as a joke. It's off limits. There are restrooms around the corner, and in this area, we're going to not talk as much and just listen to whoever is presenting. And if you want to socialize, go where the pizza is, because that's where the social area is. So I have to read this disclaimer because Brandon makes me. SecDSM is an educational entity. We do not condone any sort of illegal activity utilizing anything you might learn at SecDSM, whether that be from a presenter or another attendee. We actively seek to engage the law enforcement community within SecDSM. They're always invited and they show up to meetings regularly. Also, this is a rated R meeting now. I do notice that we have some younger people in the audience, so if you can keep it a little bit classier tonight, that would be great. Brandon's not here, so I can say that. If he was here, it would be rated R for sure. There we go, okay. Thanks, Jen. All right, so we have a code of conduct. If you have any problems tonight, Craig or I will be, wave to the nice people, Craig. Yeah, so come find us and we'll help you with whatever problems you have. If you don't feel comfortable approaching us in person, you can approach us on Slack or email us at admins@secdsm.org. So one of my favorite people, Tom Pohl, likes to say, challenge ideas, not people. Or actually, he stole that from SecKC, so it really wasn't Tom that said it, but he's the one who told me it. So you might hear things tonight you don't agree with, and we encourage you to challenge the idea that you are presented with that you don't agree with, and not the person saying it. We want to encourage discussion, and not everything everyone's going to agree with. So converse, challenge ideas, not people. All right, so like I said, Craig and I are here tonight. Craig is wandering around. But if you have any ideas or feedback you want to give us, we're really open to that. We want to engage with you as much as possible to make SecDSM better and more inclusive community for everyone. So if you've got ideas or feedback or anything you want to say just to get off your chest, come find us and we'll gladly talk to you through whatever you want to talk about. And if you want to email us, again, it's admins@secdsm.org or Slack. I'm in Stark. That's Leobart. Feel free to reach out to us and we'll talk to you through whatever you want to talk through. Volunteers. I want to call out our volunteers tonight. James Beal. Let's have a round of applause for James Beal. That's James Beal right there, everyone. We got Jared on AV. So a round of applause for Jared on AV. We have Jake Drejos for the CTF. Yeah, round of applause. And we have, I believe her name is Kenny. Yes, okay, on AV as well. She's not here tonight, but she does help out with the AV crew. So we want to thank her too. Round of applause and Absentee. Ways you can help SecDSM. You can be a speaker. That's the number one thing. If you have an idea of a talk you want to give, come find me. I will walk you through the process of getting your talk ready and good to go. So if you have any ideas, like even if it's just kind of a nascent idea, come find me and we'll develop it into something that's really cool. You can also create a CTF. If you have a good idea for a CTF, see Jake Drejos. Wave again, Jake. There you go. See that guy. He'll help you out. You can also volunteer. If you want to volunteer, please let us know before the meeting and we'll get you signed up to be a volunteer. Don't just show up and you can just show up, but it helps us out a lot to have an idea of who's going to show up early to to help us. So like, just let us know if you want to volunteer, and like, we'll gladly get you set up. Also, financial donations. We have an Open Collective page, opencollective.com, SecDSM. You can make donations there. All right, we want to do a couple shout-outs. We want to do a shout-out to our friends, the SecureWorks Adversary Group. They are a major contributor. We want to thank them and give them a round of applause right now. We also want to thank our contributors, Extra Hop and Cyber Reason. Another round of applause for fun. Transparency report. The space is provided by SecDSM and you. The food is provided by SecDSM. There's pizza out there in the social area. Go help yourself, do as much as you want. It's there for your taking. Drinks. Some of it is on Ixia tonight, our sponsor Ixia. Yes, round of applause for that. If you go and talk to our sponsor tonight, she may be able to give you a drink token. Yeah, if you're good and you're polite. So that's how you get drinks at the bar. So please engage with them. They're here to talk to you, and they are nice people. They're eager to talk. So please go see them. She says she's nice, Brad not so much. So take that for what it's worth. Financial transparency. A bunch of numbers up here. These are all of our comings and goings financially. Most of it's like pizza and sponsors and stuff. If you have any questions on this stuff, come find me. I'm the worst treasurer ever, but I'll talk to you about all this if you want. Whatever questions you might have, we want to be completely open and honest and transparent about it. It's all on Open Collective too, so if you want to view this information, just go to opencollective.com/SecDSM. Okay, this is the mini CTF, so get your cameras out again. We got another QR code. Also, it's at http://minictf.secdsm.org/shellcode. So get that QR code and go to town on the CTF because it's a good one. Anything that involves shellcode is going to be fun. So do the CTF. Hack all the things. And there may be a prize if you win. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll find something for you if you win. Upcoming events, these are also at secdsm.org. We got ArcticCon in Anchorage, Alaska. I think that would be really cool. I'd love to go to Alaska and see a security conference. That sounds awesome. Secure World West Coast is also the same day. It's virtual. FutureCon Des Moines 2021 is December 9th, a week later, and it's virtual. And Planet CyberSec is December 15th, and it is also virtual. So if you want to do an in-person conference, it looks like Alaska is the place to be. All right, I'm going to welcome James Beal up now to do a security news desk. So James, please take it away.
Yeah, that's going to be way too loud. No one will be able to hear me over my loud-ass voice. There's your PG-13. Everybody see that a little better? All right. 5 news stories in 5 minutes, but I don't promise it'll only take me 5 minutes. Good fun stuff this month. Finally back with actual security news. There's been a billion wonderful things happening, but the funny part about this, I think the hack happened, a week and a half ago on October 26th. And Iran came out a couple days later on their state-run television network condemning the U.S. and Israel again because, after Stuxnet, which we did or may not have done, quote unquote, we would attack some gas pumps and hack them. So the funny part being all the gas pumps, if you've seen a gas pump recently, have digital displays on them. They had cyber attack 6411 on it. The hilarious part about that is this was tied to a train railway shutdown for their train service from a couple months ago. I don't know how their phone system works in Iran, but supposedly if you type in a 5-digit number, that will take you to the actual office of the supreme leader of the country. So there's a little few tips in case you're hacking Iran. There's, 99,999 extensions. That'll take you a good 5 minutes to dial. In the good news department, we have Black Matter ransomware. They've been a big group over the last couple of years. Huge ransomware group that's actually shutting down due to supposedly police pressure. As noted on the bottom news point, Revil was affected as well. So there's the actual statement that they put out. This is actually put out, I believe, in Russian on a dark web post. But that's the actual text that they posted there, the stuff in quotes. It's a little bit harder to read. And they're actually claiming that the recent arrests made the difference. And so they're actually supposedly shutting Black Matter down, and I believe they're actually directing people to a decryptor at this point. So if you got hit by Black Matter, I believe there's a decryptor out there, and we'll see what happens to them and Revil as well, because they were a huge RAAS, or Ransomware as a Service company. And before I got off that slide, I wanted to go back to it because I've used this GIF before, but this is probably one of my favorite GIFs in the world, is this awesome anonymous mask, and then he peels the mask off and his mom gives him a piece of pizza. Followed up by, before I go into this story, the one you can kind of not see at the top is actually the enhanced screen from Super Troopers. Facebook, in a turn of phrase for actual privacy, has decided to delete their facial recognition system and their facial recognition database. So they're claiming that they have over 1 billion records, supposedly, which is everyone's Facebook page and photos. So if you've ever been on Facebook and actually gotten tagged in someone else's post, this is the system that they're using, that they're supposedly taking it down. As you can see, I added the bullet point that my take is they just gave it to Palantir anyway. So it doesn't matter if they delete it at this point. And besides, they're not Facebook anymore anyway, right? It's Meta, so they can just do whatever they want with it, and they'll just claim it was Facebook's fault because Facebook doesn't exist anymore. This just came out, I think, a day or two ago, officially. So I think it's this week. I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday. This hasn't been, they just brought this out from a statement that Facebook put out. So they haven't claimed anything yet, but they're claiming, I don't think I didn't put it in here. I don't think I did. They're claiming under the Facebook name that this whole thing's going to be deleted in the next couple weeks. But once again, that doesn't mean there's not a copy of it somewhere, right? It's in the cloud, so it's not like those are just somebody else's computers. And this is an interesting one. So we've had, the United States government has actually sanctioned a few groups before. I think it was last year maybe, or was it the year before, that they actually sanctioned, I think, 5 Chinese hackers that were supposedly working for a state-run or a state-functioned APT. And they're now turning around and actually sanctioning some of these groups. NSO Group being the big one. NSO Group, if you don't know, is actually out of Israel. So it's an Israel company that makes all of the lovely phone hacking software that's been used to target journalists. And there was a story, I actually posted it in SecDSM. I think it was last week. There was a big journalist that got hacked again, and they tied it back to NSO. I think is it Pegasus? That's the name of their software. I'm totally drawing a blank. Is it Pegasus? Yeah. And so NSO Group and this Kangaroo, which I've never heard of. If you guys have ever heard of them, I'd be interested to know what the heck they do. I haven't looked them up yet. But then a company in Russia and this other one in Singapore. So we're actually putting sanctions on these companies. The interesting part will be we've actually had him as a speaker before. His name is Gadi Evron. He used to run a Symmetria. There we go. I was drawing a blank. Thank you. Before he sold that to another corporation. But he is, and a heck of a lot of people that are in the United States running companies and Israeli companies are ex-Unit 8200 guys. And so the question is going to be, as these things come along, if the U.S. is going to start sanctioning people, if anyone that's got these ex-Israeli military connections is going to have a problem. So, and I didn't put it in here as a story, but there's also, I believe Wired put out a big story on it. It's been in the news lately. And I think it's in This is How They Tell Me the World Ends, which is a new book out by one of the journalists that's got a lot of inaccuracies in it, but she actually talks to someone that worked for one of these companies over there as well, or not one of these companies, but was in the UAE doing stuff that they got sanctioned as well. I think there's 3 ex-NSA members that are looking at a lot of jail time for that. And then finally, in another interesting news, Fin7 has actually created a security company. So Fin7, if you don't know, is an APT hacking group out there. They have tried this in the past, but they actually set up a fake cybersecurity company recruiting pen testers. I believe, if I remember correctly from the details I saw, they were doing something like they would do a phone screen, and then they would actually hire people on a contract basis for $800 to $1,200 per assignment to actually pen test things. So there was some actual real, white hat researchers and security researchers and pen testers out there that got popped on this. And so this is an interesting story. And then I could not give up without putting in 2 awesome hacker gifts as well from Hackers the movie, if you don't recognize those. So those are the news. And then we always like to do a job section as well. So if anyone actually wants to get up here and say they're looking for a job, we can interview you. There's 50 of us here, so we can just go ahead and start throwing out questions, right? No, if you would like to come up, if you're seeking employment, or we usually have people come up if you are a manager of a local company or a manager of a not local company and want to come up and talk about positions you're hiring for, this is your chance. So I'd like to open up the floor if anybody wants to step up, tell us who you are, where you work, and what you're looking for, because during the great reshuffle / reorganization, there's a lot of job postings out there. You want to come up here?
Hello, I'm Mike Green from Principal Financial Group. We have a position open. We have many positions open, but one of them we're looking for is a senior cybersecurity analyst. So this is like architecture with a strong background in scripting and coding and CI/CD pipeline type experience. So if you have some of those things, come and talk to me.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice? All right. I'll hand this back over to Nick. Let's have a good rest of the meeting.
Thanks, James. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to have Zelfix come up and give his presentation. Next time, it's going to be Dave B. building the Raspberry Pi Pico Ducky. And if you want to present, come find me. We can get you signed up for next month. So maybe about, 5-10 minute break, and then we'll get on with our presentation. Thank you, everyone.